Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela Web Dev. In this video, we will learn about the Unix shells concept. So what are the different types of Unix shells or shells available in our operating system, whether it may be in macOS, Unix or Linux, whatever it may be. So depending on the things, we'll try to see about the different types of shells available in your system. So hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into the world of shells in the Unix based systems. So here I am telling Unix based systems means not the Unix. So Unix like systems like Mac OS, so whatever the systems which we have discussed about this different types of OS. If you have ever wondered what a shell is, how to open one or which shell you should use, you are in the right place. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to get started with the shells, understand the difference between the popular ones like Bash and G shell, and even how to switch between them also. So let's try to jump right in. So before we start, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our tech tutorials. All right, let's talk about the shells. So what is the shell exactly and how to open it? So now let's try to see it. So what exactly is a shell? A shell is an application that acts as an interface between you and the Unix operating kernel. Think of it as like a translator that lets you send commands to your operating system. And here is the thing. Shells don't just pop up automatically when you start your computer. You need to open a terminal first. So whenever you open a terminal, automatically the shell will be launched. To open a shell, you must start by launching your terminal application. On a Mac, this could be a terminal app. On Linux, it could be something like Genome Terminal or Console. You can usually find it in your applications menu or just search for the terminal. Once you open the terminal, it tells the Unix kernel, hey, start the new shell process for me. The kernel then grabs the default shell from your system storage, spawns a new process, and voila, you have got a shell running. The terminal is essentially a window that lets you interact with this shell. So fun fact is here, every time you open a new tab in your terminal, you are creating a new shell process. Each shell is just an application running on the top of your kernel, and you can have multiple shells open at once. So I will try to show you. Here this is your terminal. So whenever you want to open the terminal, just you can do terminal. That's it. So now here the terminal will be opened, and now a shell program, so the shell has been opened and it is running. So whenever you try to see here, so open the activity monitor, so you will be able to see a new shell will be started. So here you will be able to see the G shell. So this is the one process which is running. If I try to close this one, automatically the G shell will go away. Okay, and if I try to open this one again, terminal, let's see, oh sorry, here let's try to open the terminal, and now again if you see the activity monitor, a new G shell will be started. So here let's hope I will try to, okay, here I have written G shell. So a new G shell will be started. So this is how so whenever you are trying to open the terminal, it tells to the Unix kernel that okay, so let's start a new shell process. So whatever the default process is there, so the G shell will be started. So the thing which you need to understand is, for example, let's say that if I open a new tab here, okay, I open a new tab. So now two G shell process will be started. So here you'll be able to see the shell process 2 has been running. So if you check the system activity monitor, I can see those shell process running, and that's it. So here you can see the shell in my system, which is a G shell in this case. So we will talk about what G shell is in a moment, but first let's clarify something. In documentation, you might see the terminal referred to as T. For example, in the Node.js docs, T just means terminal. It's the same thing. So fine. So now you have a clear understanding about this one. So how does the terminal and the shell work together? So this terminal, if I open, the shell programming is automatically running, right? How does this terminal and the shell work together? First of all, terminal request. So how does this all work under the hood? When you open your terminal, it sends a request to the Unix kernel to start a shell process. So the kernel looks for your default shell stored in your system storage and it launches it. This shell process then communicates back to the terminal and letting you type commands and see the outputs. So a quick way to check which shell you are using is by typing echo $shell. So here you can do echo $shell. So then you can see in your terminal, this will show you the path to your shell executable. For example, mine, it is saying /bin/G shell, meaning that I am using the G shell. Yours might say it will be /bin/bash or something else depending on your system. Think of this shell as a Unix executable file sitting on your hard drive. Okay, so if you try to check this bin, right? So if I try to open, so if I, for example, on my Mac, if I go to the bin folder, so here I will try to do open slash bin, then it will open the folder, and here if you try to see exactly, the output will be in such a way that, yeah, here, sorry, here, and here I will try to open, I don't know. So here you'll be able to see the G shell is there, and which is an Unix executable file. Okay. If you are curious, you can check your activity monitor and see that this shell process in action. Let's open a new command and boom, with the new shell. So that's normal thing. Activity will be there. So now, fine, done. So we have understood about this one. So how to see the current shell running is like this, and here it is an Unix executable file. So fine. So now let's try to have a brief history about this G shell. Okay. So now here you the popular shells and their history. The first one, the very first shell was the Thompson shell, or just sh, developed in 1971 by Thompson for Unix. Unix itself was created in 1969, and just 2 years later Ken built this shell. But honestly, nobody uses the Thompson shell anymore. It's super outdated and does not come pre-installed in the modern systems. And the next comes is the 1979. Next up is 1979 came the Bourne shell. That is nothing but the bash. So here created by the Stephen Bourne, and sorry, this is Bourne shell only. This shell was a big upgrade over the Thompson shell with more features and better functionality. It was a game changer at that time. And when it comes to 1989 bash, so then in 1989 Brian Fox introduced the Bourne again shell, or bash, which is super important shell. The name Bourne again is a playful nod to the Bourne shell, but bash took things to the next level by borrowing features from other shells and adding its own enhancement. Bash is actually a programming language, and you can write scripts in it, and we will cover that in our future video. So finally in 1990, Paul Foster developed G shell, or the G shell. G shell is considered more feature rich than bash and is mostly compatible with it, meaning most bash scripts will work in G shell. Apple recently made G shell the default shell on macOS due to some licensing issues with the bash, but bash is still available on the macOS. That's not a problem. Bash is huge because it is the default shell in Linux distribution like Ubuntu. Even in macOS also, bash used to be the default for a long time, and it's pre-installed. When Linus Torvalds created Linux in 1991, bash is one of the first pieces of software he ported it along with the GCC compiler. That's how the core bash is to Linux. So which one should you use? Bash is the most common shell out there, so it's a great starting point, especially if you want to learn the shell scripting. G shell is also very similar and compatible with the bash. So if you want to learn bash, you will pretty much understand G shell too. Both are pre-installed in most Linux and Mac OS also. So checking and changing your shell. Okay. So now let's try to see how to so let's get hands on. If you want to see what shells are available on your system, you can check by looking at a file called etc/shells. So if you try to do /etc/shells, so you will be able to see list of acceptable shells for this one. So these are all the different types of shells you will be able to see. So on my system, you can see I have bash, G shell, and few others also. So this is the bash, and this one is the G shell, and few others also you'll be able to see. So here dash, so you'll be able to see the dash, right? Dash is a super lightweight shell, kind of like a modern version of the original Thompson shell. You might also see the bin/sh, which is often an alias for the bash or another shell, depending on your system. So now to check the shell version. So for example, if you want to check what type of shell version it is installed, so just you can show something like bin/sh -version. So now here you can check it. So here it is showing the bash, and it is 3.2.57. So if you want to check this bin bash, means I have checked for this bin/sh, right? So you can check it the same thing, bin/bash -version. Now you'll be able to see the one and the same only it is showing. Okay. So that means bin/sh is actually an alias for the bash. So I can get I get the same version for both of this. Right in your system also you might also see something different or something like that. So now that if you want, so now my default shell is G shell. You are able to see it, right? Echo dollar shell means you are able to see it. So now what if I want to switch your default shell? Easy. So just we can use the chsh command. That is nothing but change shell command. So here chsh means stands for change shell. For example, to switch to bash, so just we need to type chsh change shell and -s. So here you can write /bin/bash. That's it. So now it will ask you for the password. So now here you can write your password, and now it has been changed. So let's say it. So now we have did it. So when you press command, so here you'll be able to see the G shell, right? So now here I will try to close this one version. So here also one process will go in. So now when you open the new tab here, automatically now this time you'll be able to see G shell 1 only there. So if you try to search for the bash, so here you'll be able to see the bash. Okay. So now here it is telling that the default interactive shell is now G shell for the Mac. To update your account, please run this change shell -s bin js. It will showing. So now we are able to shift to the bash. Okay, if I try to do echo dollar shell means, then this time it is showing bin/bash. So that is the main thing. So that's it, guys. So now you understood how to open the shell, and now if I want to switch it means just I can switch it chsh-s/bin/g shell. It will ask for the password, and I will go some. Oh, sorry. So maybe I have pressed the wrong password. Yeah, now it has been changed. So that's it, guys. Now you know now you understood how to open a shell, what shells like bash and G shell are, and how to switch between them. Shells are your gateway to interact with the Unix kernel, and mastering them is the key skill for any developer or Linux user. So now here is your quick challenge. You can open your terminal, type echo $shell to see what shell you are using, and try listing your available shells with cat command cat/etc/shells. Let me know in the comments what you find in your system, and if you want to learn more about shell scripting or Unix commands or something like that, so drop a comment or check out our other videos, Linux videos you have the playlist, you can check it out. That's it, guys. If you find anything helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more technical tutorials. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.